Dear colleagues, committee members, and of all the things that tie us together, dear teachers in the Association of Theater of Higher Education, I am honored to be joining the distinguished list of passionate educators that have been given the Outstanding Teacher of Theater in Higher Education Award. And I'm sorry not to be able to join you for cocktails in Los Angeles. 35 years ago, when my good friend David Savrin and I were being taught at the knees of Marvin Carlson and Bert States, we attended the then-named American Theater Association Conference. As despairing graduate students, we concluded the only way we would get a tenure-track position would be to roll an explosive device down the aisles. I'm glad to say we were both wrong, and I've been a very lucky woman in my chosen fields. When I was at Cornell in the 1970s, it was explained to me that women graduate students were not given fellowships since we were likely to marry and have babies. We were permitted, however, to have teaching assistantships in order to support our education. Little did we know how much being married and having babies would change by the 21st century. I will always remember the thrill of that first classroom, as intoxicating as the rehearsal room. And I am now, some 35 years later, so glad for that initial inequality. For me, the wonderment is that our academies still prioritize fellowship over teaching and scholarship over praxis. To me, they are inextricably tied. Cornell, I'm grateful to say, introduced me to a lifelong addiction. I'd like to thank 3 teachers in my life for setting me on my path. First, my thanks to Frank Anzalone, my high school drama teacher. At the time, he seemed so old to us, 23 years old with a master's degree from Catholic University. I want to thank Frank for snaring my soul in 10th grade and stopping my drift into juvenile delinquency. My thanks also to the late Professor Adrian Lockhart at Bryn Mawr College, who taught me freshman English, and who told me I was a playwright. I was not an essayist, judging from the mediocre grades she gave me, but her office doors were open, and she introduced me to theatrical theory and women writers. And my thanks to my beloved late mentor, Bert States. I still read his essays and books and argue with him still in my mind, and every time I step into the classroom, I carry on the discussion he began with me 36 years ago. But the ones who really taught me and inspired me are, no surprise to all who teach my students. Teaching these incredible young minds gave me a daily breastplate against the cynicism and politics of the theatrical field and the cynicism and the politics of the university. From the first undergraduate at Brown that I produced, a young woman by the name of Lynn Nottage, who is now my faculty colleague at Yale School of Drama, to the 3 writers who will be joining me in New Haven this month. I have sweated, argued, pleaded, and ultimately told the truth as I saw it each day, holding nothing back. They have given me their best, and they've demanded my best in return. Thanks to the playwrights in all of the workshops through the years, from Montreal, London, Prague, St. Petersburg, Rio de Janeiro, to Audrey Skirball Kennis, and the maximum security wing of the Adult Correctional Institute for Women in Rhode Island, and to theater companies all across the country. Your words, your trust, and your joy have made me a daily believer in the power of theater. Again, my thanks for this honor.